A young mother was found hanged in a wasteland. The police claim it was suicide, but the family are convinced the woman was murdered. Don't miss out. The psychics will expose the murderer. You are watching Psychic Investigations, a channel of true and shocking stories. Here, people who call themselves clairvoyants investigate resonant criminal cases and incredible paranormal phenomena using their supernatural abilities. Little Denis Panasenko is only 3 years old. He loves toy trains, planes, and fluffy pets.
Here's my cat, Rijik.
But most of all, the boy likes to listen to fairy tales. His mother, Lina, got him used to books from the first months of his life.
She always read him those fairy tales. She taught him everything.
However, now the boy's grandmother reads him books, as his mother has been gone for 6 months.
32-year-old Lina Panasenko disappeared under mysterious circumstances.
It was Saturday. At 4 in the afternoon, Lina went out of her apartment, where she lived with her husband. She was going to go to the village, where her mother and sisters, Alla and Yulia, live with their families. Little Denis was also in living there.
Lina decided that it would be better if he stayed with his grandmother in the village until he was about 5. She was very busy at work. She was a plasterer.
The boy's parents worked a lot, so his grandmother took care of him. On weekends, his mother came to visit him, but the final week of summer saw everything go wrong.
She phoned me in the evening and said, "Mom, I can't make it." And then she just hung up.
Lina promised to come the next day. However, Lina didn't show up even 24 hours later.
I dialed her, and after a few tones, her phone was turned off.
The woman raised the alarm. She called all of her daughter's acquaintances and friends. None of them had seen Lina. When she called her son-in-law, he was shocked to learn that his wife was not at her mother's.
The last time I saw Lina, she said she was going to her mom's. She also said she was planning to stop by her friend to get some children's clothes.
Lina's friend Liuda has a son who is a few years older than Denise, so she always gave Lina the clothes he outgrew.
She came and we had tea. And then she said, "All right, I'm off. I need to drop by the store to buy some candy for the kid, and then hurry to catch the bus."
Our journalists interviewed all the bus station employees who had a shift that day. None of them saw Lina, nor did she ever get on the bus.
The woman seemed to have vanished into thin air. Eventually, her relatives went to the police.
The major assured us my sister simply went partying somewhere and would come back soon.
The police kept assuring Lina's relatives that she would return until her body was found in a wasteland on the outskirts of the town. She was hanged on a tree.
According to the forensic examination, Lina died from asphyxiation. The official police version is suicide.
However, everyone who knew Lina is outraged by the police's version. They say she couldn't have taken her own life. She loved her son too much to do this.
There are very few mothers like her, to be honest. I will never believe she did this. Never.
But the police have their own arguments on this matter.
Visually, there were no injuries on the victim's body that would indicate a violent death.
But Lina's sisters claim they saw the traces of violence with their own eyes.
The first thing we noticed was a bruise on her arm, like clotted blood. There was also a large hematoma behind her ear.
It's quite possible that the victim was hit on the head to knock her unconscious. Then she was hanged to simulate suicide.
What scared me the most was the place where it happened.
Because it's a remote area, it's simply stupid to go all the way there to simply hang yourself. Why?
The woman was found hanged in a deserted wasteland on the other side of the town.
The investigators can't explain how she ended up there.
There is no answer to the question of where the woman's passport went either. Lina always had it with her.
There was the photocopy of the first page of Lina Panasenko's passport in her handbag, which the detectives found next to the body. But it's unclear what happened to the document itself.
There are too many questions and no answers.
But the strangest thing is not what was missing from Lina's handbag, but what was left in it.
The cards. I was shocked. She never played cards.
If the cards didn't belong to Lina, then whose were they? Could the killer have left them? But why? Did they want to say something with this? Is the woman's death somehow connected to gambling?
And the most significant inconsistency, the body was found without underwear. Although according to the forensics, Lina wasn't raped.
I asked them why she was without her underwear, but they said they didn't know and simply closed the case and said it was suicide, period.
The investigators have no answers to any of the pressing questions.
My last hope is the psychics.
The participants of our project, clairvoyants Olena Kurilova and Kayal Alekperov, took on the case.
She came while I was working with her photo, but she didn't answer any of my questions about her death. She simply lowered her gaze and remained silent.
She's ashamed of something.
Exactly, Olena. I asked her to give me at least some sign of where to look for the answer, and she showed me a small piece of paper with an eye drawn on it, resembling some kind of magical symbol. Is it possible that Lina's death was caused by some magical intervention?
You know, Kayal, while I was working with her, I saw the following. A small white house, surrounded by gravestones bearing some rune-like symbols on them.
The psychics meet with Lina's mother and sister in the downtown of the town where she lived.
Thank you very much for coming.
Mommy. Mom, I came to you. I was at yours. I stood by the window.
Yes, I remember it. A few days ago, Denise and I were playing in the bedroom. Denise said, Grandma, someone's knocking on the window." I ran there and heard dull knocking, like a bird's.
She's trying to say something. Ma. I only hear Ma, and nothing more.
I heard a female voice saying, "There was no prayer. She was not given a proper Christian funeral."
Yes.
The priest refused to conduct a funeral service for Lina because the police concluded it was suicide. But what really happened to the young woman? Did she take her own life, or was she murdered? But who could do it, and why?
Two of Pentacles, a double game. The card of money. Money is involved in the death.
What double game could it be? And what money? Lina and her husband weren't wealthy.
I need to do a good big spread. Let's go somewhere where we can sit down.
The local cafe is not crowded in the morning, and the psychics can work calmly.
The cards say that your daughter was murdered. She's not a suicide.
I knew this all this time.
Tell me, did you notice that Lina recently seemed unlike herself? Like she became a different person?
Yes. At some point, she withdrew into herself and became very thoughtful. I saw that something was bothering her.
Is it possible that Lina had some troubles of which didn't want to tell her family to not upset them?
She said, "Oh, Ma, I can handle it myself. You don't need to worry about it."
This is word by word what she told me.
I have a feeling that Lina went to meet death for the sake of her child.
My God.
This is unbelievable. A vase of flowers stood on the table behind the psychics, and it fell suddenly.
It got smashed, but there was absolutely nobody around it. It was a sign.
I hear your daughter. She blames her husband for her death. I feel that their relationship was on the edge.
I have a photo of her and her husband.
Yes, I'd like to see it.
They argue over the child. They had fights.
My Cola was mad.
So, shortly before her death, Lina quarreled with her husband. Was she going to leave him?
It's hard to disagree that it's a serious blow to a man's dignity, and it could very well be a motive to murder his wife.
The investigators didn't check the husband's alibi, as they believed Lina hanged herself and no one was involved in her death. However, we found that on the day Lina disappeared, Mikola was at work from morning until evening. After that, he went to a bar with his friend and stayed there until 11 p.m. His friend and the bar staff confirmed this.
Let's go to the place where your daughter's body was found.
Were you there?
No, and the investigator in charge told us he didn't know where it was.
If you know at least the area where Lina was found, I will try to sense the exact place there.
Hello, I'm a representative of the local police.
When the local police learned that psychics had arrived to investigate Lina Panasenko's mysterious death, their press officer joined them.
We're also curious about what exactly happened here, so we'd like to know what the psychics think.
Overall, the energy of the place is very unpleasant. I see Lina's body to the right-hand side of the road, and there's also a small body of water, or a ditch there.
Indeed, there is such a place further down.
I see a lowland with 3 trees. Let's go.
The woman from the police does not say where exactly Lina was found hanged. She's apparently testing the psychics.
It's further that way.
Svetlana stops. It seems she's not feeling well.
Does anybody have water?
I feel like I'm being choked.
We're close now, the mother feels it.
Have some water. Exhale, like this.
Do you wish to go on?
Yes.
And there it is, the White House. I told you about it. A little white house surrounded by gravestones. Look. It's a burial site. This is a place of sacrifices. Is the cemetery Jewish?
Yes. We occasionally receive reports about damage to these tombstones.
Did she happen to practice magic?
She used to visit some old woman not far from hers, but she never explained why she went there.
Look, the magic eye.
An occult symbol. Satanists were here. Did they kill her?
Lina wasn't one of them, but she could probably be a victim of a satanic ritual.
With special ritual knives, various occult signs are carved on the body.
There were no injuries on the victim's body at all.
The family claimed they saw bruises on Lina's body, but those weren't stab wounds. The injuries like hers are not typical for ritual murders.
Why was I shown the White House and the gravestones? Perhaps it was to point me to the place of Lina's death.
Over here. She was hanging on this tree.
Yes, it's the tree. This is the place.
This is the first time Lina's mother and sister are at this tragic place, and they cannot hold back their emotions.
I love her very much. It's so hard without her.
She's grateful that you are taking care of her son.
Don't worry, Lina. Your son will stay with us.
She's nodding.
Her spirit is pointing at her throat. There's a black rope around it.
The leather strap of her purse.
The purse is in the car. We have it.
The murderer's fingerprints could very well be on the victim's bag, but the forensic experts didn't check them, as the detectives immediately concluded that there was no crime in Lina Panasenko's death.
The murderer rummaged through the bag. These are male hands. Okay, hold on. The cards? And what is this number?
It's the pawn shop's number.
We immediately checked the number. The pawn shop administrator informed us that the victim had a debt.
She had a loan to repay. They're still calling me. She left my phone number as a warranty.
She needed money. The card of money. Money is involved in the death. Numerous debts, you see? Money in the cards? Did she play cards?
No, never.
No one ever used these cards. She took this deck to do fortune telling. When you go to see a fortune teller, you must take a new, clean deck of cards. She had anxiety in her soul.
The cards and the debts are not related.
Why did she need the money?
She needed it for her son.
Was the boy sick?
He had an operation.
The women said that Lina's son, Dennis, was often ill, and the doctors were fighting a severe form of salmonellosis. The infection affected the boy's bones and joints.
He might not have been able to walk, and his arm wouldn't move. Thanks to massages, exercises, and injections, he got better.
The treatment of the boy took an entire year. All the couple's savings went to saving their son, and they eventually had to go into debt.
She could have called and told me. But no, she took the loan.
Lina owed the bank about 10,000 Tius Rivnias and also borrowed 3,000 from the pawn shop. This, by the way, explains the absence of her passport. She exchanged it for money.
According to Lina's friend, she was late in repaying the debt.
It even got to the point when they told her that if she didn't pay, say 600 Hrivnias, today she would have serious problems.
Lina is showing me the magic eye again.
Who has a banknote? And here is the eye.
The secret lies in the money. Olena, she's very ashamed. She's crying.
Connections with men, like love. This is the card of work. A hand giving money. I don't... Did she take money from men? For love? It was a specific kind of love. Online dating, you see.
We checked the clairvoyant's words. Through Lina's mobile phone number, we found her secret page on social media and read one of the chats there. What we found there is deeply shocking.
Price? How much per hour do you want? I don't have a rate. I need money badly. Open for offers. How old are you? Will 400 UAH be enough? Would you like to repeat the paid date? I have a guy who wants you. Can I see his photo first? I don't want to run into someone I know.
From the text of the chat, it's clear that Lina was arranging a sex date for money. And there are lots of similar chats there. But on the day of her disappearance, she had a meeting with only one person and even told her friend Liuda about it.
She said she'd met a man online, and his name was Serhi. I asked her where he lived. She said near the train station. We had this conversation literally on the eve of her disappearance.
She was engaged in prostitution, and she didn't want you to know about it. She was ashamed of this, but she needed money desperately.
It was a mind-blowing revelation. And I felt all of her inner pain so deeply.
On her last day of life, she was in this place with a client.
For several days, our journalists interviewed everyone who appeared in this area until we finally found a witness, a man who often goes fishing at the local lake.
I remember her, such a tall, eye-catching girl. I saw her there near the quarry. She was with a guy. They were on the shore. They were sitting and hugging.
We asked her, how did you die? And she said, I don't know. I only remember the man's hands on my neck.
She was hit on the back of the head and fainted. Then the murderer put the bag strap around her neck and strangled her. Perhaps the man did this to avoid paying for sex. Then he staged the suicide to mislead the investigation.
No one expected such an ending. The good wife and caring mother, Lina Panasenko, paid with her life for the money she was collecting to pay for her son's treatment. She tried to earn the necessary amount at her official job. She worked overtime, but her salary wasn't enough. The boy's father helped very little, so Lina had to find the money in another way.
Our investigators will take everything the psychic said into account. We will check the people who could be involved in this act in accordance with the law.
She suffered alone in her trouble, but when you have trouble, you need to go to your family, your father and mother. You can always find a way out if there is someone to support and help you.
A few days later, Lina's relatives called our editorial office and told us that the priest considered everything the psychic said and agreed to perform the funeral service. The stigma of suicide was finally removed from Lina Panasenko. If this story impressed you, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Many more impressive investigations are coming up.